Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Many people have asked me about driving in Canada and like how to buy a car in Canada and having a car in Canada and all those things. So as someone who had a car before, I think I can explain certain things about it, and I want to explain why I sold my car and also a little bit about the licensing process and also how the process goes and all those things. So that's gonna be this video, and before that, please do like, share, comment on the video, subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget to press the bell icon so you get updates when I post more videos. So let's now wait, we'll go to the video. So before going into the story of why I sold my car, I just want to tell a little bit about the license process and how it works in Canada. So basically, if you're coming here as an international student or worker or as a PR, there's like two different things it goes, like the license process. So first thing is, if your country has an agreement with Canada, you can just go to the license center and you can just exchange your country license to a Canadian license, so you don't have to do anything for that. And the second thing is, if your country doesn't have an agreement with Canada, then you have to go through the entire licensing process, but you can cut out certain things there. So I'm going to explain the entire process in a brief way. So licensing process and all these things related to driving and licensing, it's not a centralized thing here. It's a provincial thing. It's taken care of each province. So if you're coming to Toronto, then you're gonna get an Ontario license. You're not gonna get a Canadian license. So different provinces have a little bit different rules, but in Ontario we have like three different types of licenses. So it's G1, G2, and G. So G1 is also called the learner's license. Basically, you take a G1 before you go to a driving class. So G1, take G1, it's basically you just have to go to the drive test center and do like a written test. It's not a written test, it's computer based test, but you have to do like a test like that where they have like 20 questions or something about like the road rules and what the traffic signs mean and how do you drive and all those things related to that. So you do a test on that, and then once you pass that, they give you a G1. So you need to have a G1 license even if you want to go for a driving class, and if you're gonna learn driving, you need to have G1. So G1, no matter where you come from, you have to do the G1. That's like a basic thing. And the next will be like G2. So G2 comes probably 1 year after you get your G1. So G2 is like a road test. So there will be an instructor sitting next to you, and he'll be marking and he'll tell you to do things when you're driving. You need to maintain the speed limit, you need to see the signs and follow the lane rules and follow all the driving rules basically. And he'll tell you to park in a parking lot, and there'll be certain things. If you go to a driving class, they will explain it to you like what exactly they ask for in the test. So that's going to be a road test, and once you pass that road test, you're going to get G2, and G is like the full license where you have another road test. And in this road test, you actually go into the highway and then you come out of the highway. So that is like the G road test part. So G2 and G are basically very, very similar. The major difference comes in the road test. So G2 road test, you don't have to go into the highway, but G road test, you have to go into the highway. So that's like the only difference. But I don't know why they split it like that. Doesn't mean that if you have G2, you're not supposed to drive on the highway. You can drive on the highway even with G2. I had G2 for like 5 years, and then I switched to G, and I have literally drove to Ottawa, Montreal from here, so it doesn't matter. So basically, if you're someone who's coming from your country and you haven't had a license from your country, then it goes like you get a G1 first, and then after 1 year you apply for G2, and then once you get your G2, you wait for another year and then you apply for G. So it takes like 3 years, it takes like 2 years for the entire process to complete for you to get like the full license. But if you are someone who already has a license in your country and but you don't have like the agreement with Canada, I mean your country doesn't have an agreement, then you can just get a document from the transportation department of your country. It's called DL extract. So you can get that from your country and you can submit that. If you do that, you can just pass your G1 and go and take directly the G road test. You don't have to do the G2 part. You can go from G1 to G, but you only get one chance. If you fail the G road test the first chance, then the second time you have to take G2. You cannot take G again. So that's what happened to me. I gave my document from India, and I went to take a G road test from G1, and I actually failed that road test. So the second time I went, they told me I have to take G2. So that's the reason why I had G2 for like 5 years, and every license has like an expiry date of like 5 years. So you have to renew it after 5 years. So 5 years just ended like few months back, and I just got my G few months back. That's like a very, very brief explanation of the licensing process and everything. Coming now to the reality of owning a car in Canada, and what is the real expense of owning a car in Canada. I want to tell my story of so that I can relate it to this example. So I actually got a new 2017 Hyundai Elantra in 2017. I think it's like 5 years back. So I just got graduated and I got a car and I got a job, and probably like 2 or 3 months after getting a job I got a new car, because personally I love cars. Like I love driving and I love cars, and I was so excited to get a car here. And my classmates, most of them were like Canadians and they already had a car, even when we were studying in college. So I really liked that feeling and all those things, so I wanted to get a car and all. I did it. And because every VFX studio was in downtown, I was living very, very far away from downtown at that time. My previous place was around like 25 kilometers from downtown. So one way 25 kilometers. So it takes around like 1.5 hours, almost like 2 hours if I take the train and go to work. So the fastest way was to drive there. It takes like around 45 minutes to drive. So that's the reason I got a car, but I was stupid enough to not think that I could have just moved to downtown instead of getting a new car. But I didn't think that. Obviously, if I was there right now, like I would have just moved to downtown, I would have moved to a different place. But I loved cars more than like living in a better place. So I got a car and I drove every day to work. But the thing was, I wasn't making that much money. I was just a junior artist. That was my first job. So I wasn't getting paid that much, and with that income, I was pretty much spending like 70% or 60 or 70% of it on the car. So how it works is, because it was a new car, I didn't pay any down payment or anything. I just got it on a loan. So you have like EMI. I had to pay EMI, I had to pay insurance, and I have to pay gas. Because it's 25 and 25, I drive like 50 kilometers like Monday to Friday. I fill the entire tank for like a week, I think, every week. So gas, and especially in downtown, you cannot really park anywhere for free. You need to pay for parking. So there was like a parking lot next to my studio, and I had to take like a monthly subscription for the parking, and I pay monthly and I can park there whenever I want. So parking, and then also like other small things like car wash and regular service to the showroom, first service, second service, because it was a new car, so I have to pay for that too. So including all these things, it pretty much took away like 60% of my income every month. So I was living with that 40%, which wasn't enough for me. Though my rent was like very, very low at that time, I was paying very low rent, but still it was like I was going to downtown, I had to eat out every day, I cannot cook and go, and all those things are there, and groceries and all that stuff. I was literally living like paycheck to paycheck, and sometimes it won't even be enough. I go beyond my paycheck. So for example, if I'm earning like $1,000, salary here is like bi-weekly, it's not monthly. They pay you every 2 weeks. So if I'm getting like $1,000 like every 2 weeks, I literally spend like 1,300 or 1,400. So I'm spending beyond what I'm earning. So I was like in a very, very bad position at that time. And basically I didn't even have a chance to like save anything, or because I was spending literally everything for the car. It was just a luxury. Like I can realize it now. Like I was just like 21 years at that time. So I was too excited to have a car at 21 years. And with all those kind of struggles, I did own the car for like 2.5 years, almost till the end of 2019. And 2019 is when I actually moved to this place. I actually had the car when I moved here, but I had it for a week, and the entire week I didn't even touch the car. If you move closer, you don't really need a car. So I realized like, okay, let's just give it off, and then I actually sold the car for a very, very low price, because cars do not go up in value as time goes. The moment you take the delivery, it reduces like 30% in value. I didn't really know all these things. No one told me all these things. I learned it the very hard way. The moment I sold the car, and from the next paycheck, I was able to see like there was so much money staying in my account. Usually when I had a car, like the day the salary comes into my account, and by the time the next salary comes after 2 weeks, this will be gone from my account. And I'll even spend like extra 200 or 300 from my credit card, because that wasn't enough. So but after selling my car, I can see that there is some money still there, and then the next paycheck comes on top of that. So That's when I stopped living like paycheck to paycheck, and I was able to save some money. That's when I started saving actually. I was able to save at that time. So, and many people even asked me on the live last time, you didn't buy a car. Why didn't you buy a car? Why don't you have a car? And the thing is, like, I've already had a car way back, and it was good to have a car. To be honest, it's nice. It's convenient, but it's a luxury according to me. Even I do road trips. You've seen my videos. I have done road trips. It's not that I cannot go right now. I have a full license. I can rent a car whenever I want. If I want it for like 2 or 3 days, I can just rent a car. It's not a responsibility on me to pay a loan or anything to rent a car. I can just pay for it, and the insurance covers from my credit card. I don't really have to think about anything, other than just enjoying the 2 days. A car will only take money away from you, and it's a liability, it's not an asset. Not everyone who has cars are rich. Most of the people are living paycheck to paycheck, like how I was living. It obviously looks really cool to drive a car everywhere and do all those things, but point is not to look rich, but to actually be rich. Rental cars, I think you guys would have seen my Tesla video too. I wanted to drive a Tesla. I just rented a Tesla for a day. We went out, we checked out the car, how it goes, we charged it. It was an experience, and I feel that one day experience is enough for me with a Tesla. Only tip I will give you is, like, do not buy a new car, buy a used one. You will save lots of money, and the payments will also be less. And if you can buy a car like less than $10,000, I think you can just save up the money and buy it fully cash. You don't have to take a loan or anything like that, because you're going to pay interest on it. That's the reason why I sold my car. I think it would have given you an idea of the reality of owning a car. Think about it. If you're going to come to Canada as an international student or a PR, make sure you settle yourself up a little bit, and then when you have excess money to spend, then spend it for the car. Do not buy a car immediately. That's the lesson I learned. No one taught me this. I learned it the hard way. I learned it by buying a car and selling it. So I think this point would be useful for anyone who's coming new to Canada. So that's pretty much it. I hope this video was useful. If it was useful, please do like, share, comment on the video, subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget to press the bell icon so I can update when I post more videos. So that's it for today. I'll see you guys soon in another video. Till then, it's Manish. Bye-bye.